I drew this. I actually drew this. Ah! Am I finally at pro drawing level yet? The answer is not to my standards, and there's a huge but, I do feel and see the improvements from my long and perilous art journey. This reminds me of a famous quote I read once. I just know before this is over, I'm gonna need a whole lot of serious therapy. Okay, that's not it. That was from Shrek, if you didn't catch that. The real quote is, your talent determines what you can do. Your motivation determines how much you are willing to do, and your attitude determines how well you do it. And that is from Lou Holtz. Whoever you are, thank you for that amazing inspirational quote. Now, I know I'm tooting my own horn here, but if you've been following me this far, you've seen how far my art has come, right? And also, a huge thank you to my followers. I really wouldn't have come this far without your support. So, I'm going to dive right into how I drew Jotaro, and stay tuned to see how I draw my original character in Jojo-Style. Hey there, noobs and newbies! My shading skills have been getting much better, but that is not what my goal was or is. Though I'm super happy to see that my art is looking closer to pro manga quality. So what have I done to get here? If you've been watching my videos since this channel started, you can see that it has been months of practicing, studying, sweat, and tears. What I did here is draw Jotaro Kujo, and instead of drawing 2 or more characters than an original character like I had planned, I just got hyper focused on him and forgot that this phase is about creating characters in specific styles and not shading. Granted, one can argue that shading is part of the design process, but my focus was primarily learning how to flesh out ideas, the physical appearance of a character, the face, and the body. Do you see where my problem is? I should be drawing characters, not shading and using markers. Besides, shading and coloring will be a part of my next studying phase, so I can worry about that later. I mean, I did technically draw 2 characters. I also drew Mista from Golden Wind in my shorts I posted a while back. Didn't you see it? Well, don't see it right now because it's going to throw off the algorithm. My goodness, just wait till the end of the video, then you can watch it. Okay, I'm just going to get down to the bottom of this. Not that bottom. Let's keep it PG in here. I went into the movies last week and watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and my mind is all over the place. Anyways, this may come as a surprise to no one, but I learned that drawing more developed characters takes more time. You might be saying, yeah, obviously, except here I was thinking, let me just draw 3 characters, then an original character in 1 week. Well, I only get to spend like 2 hours drawing each night, Monday through Friday, when it literally takes me about 8+ hours to draw one of these JoJo characters with shading. What the heck was I thinking? Clearly, math is not my strongest skill. You can do the math if you want, but basically, I was not going to have enough time to draw all that. Now, if you're following me and doing a similar type of drawing study curriculum, don't be like me, do the math first, and then give yourself enough time and realistic goals. Otherwise, you'll just be drawing with anxiety, lack of sleep, and frustration. Did I just describe most artists? In other words, that was me on the brink of mental collapse, but I made it, and so did my drawing. I didn't really realize this until later, but all these expectations I placed on myself of being able to push my drawing capabilities further and wanting to see that professional mangaka level of art was starting to consume my entire state of mind. That, accompanied by trying to do side jobs here and there, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I was so determined to just make the best drawing, and within such a short, also unrealistic amount of time that I had given myself, that I was disappointed with my results, and then I was unhappy. Unhappy with results that turned into unhappiness with myself. It's a dangerous thing. I was so unhappy. I mean, so unhappy that even the slightest inconvenience was sending me over the edge. Kind of like when you go to the grocery store and there's someone standing in the middle of an aisle that you need to pass through, and they won't budge because they don't notice you or something. And if you politely say, "Excuse me," they just stand there. Huh? Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't upset me because it's a public space. I can easily choose another aisle or just not be mad. Luckily, I have some supportive friends and a partner, and after a few days of being moody, they helped me to realize that I needed to calm the down. Gosh. Now, here I am doing my best again. So I'm going to talk quite briefly about drawing Jotaro and Star Platinum, as there really wasn't much to learn other than sitting in a way that is absolutely horrible for my posture and staring intensely at the paper to try and make sure that every stroke of the marker doesn't go out of bounds. Though there is something oddly therapeutic when it comes to coloring. It's like all my attention is now on the paper. And I want it to look so good that when I show it to my friends and family, they're like, "Oh wow, that is so good!" I think I'm almost there, but I have to keep pushing forward. However, as I said before, coloring and being super detailed in shading is not really the goal at the moment. And this is what derailed me. What I needed to be doing is knowing how to form an original character, but also have that signature manga style. So here is Jotaro. I hope you like the drawing and also like this video. Please. So I skipped all the body anatomy mumbo jumbo, and you can see that there is a weird pose. I will get to that a bit later. So here is the inspiration from my original character, Inigo. The name is a Spanish name meaning fiery, burning, and passionate. Wait, I'm passionate and fiery. Why isn't my name Inigo? Hello noobs and newbies, this is now Inigo Manga. Just kidding. My idea for Inigo is quite revamped from a prior drawing I did about 2 years ago when I first attempted to draw a JoJo character after studying anatomy for the first time. Funny thing is that I was so proud of the drawing before, but now that I look at it, I'm just like, that is not mine. Nope, I never drew that. This second time around, I wanted to be a lot more creative with the character, and if you're not familiar with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or the author and his creative process, I'm going to break it down for you briefly. Each of his characters have abilities called stands, and those stands are spiritual entities that cannot be seen by a normal human, or at least a human that does not have a stand. Stands can be human-like, or sometimes they can be objects like bullets, fishing rods, machines, minions, and other things. Hence why the show is so bizarre. As for his creative process, his style of naming his characters stands is by naming them after famous songs that are from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and up until present day. And then using those names as inspiration for what the ability of his character might, or the character stand may be. For Inigo, I decided to name his ability after the song Heatwaves by Glass Animals. I'm sure you've heard it on the radio. Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. Heatwaves been faking me out. Okay, I'll stop. The surface level of this ability is that Heatwaves is able to control microwaves, not the appliance. like the electromagnetic waves used in microwaves. So I want the ability to be human-like, so kind of like a spiritual human entity. Now, going back to that pose thing, Araki also loves to draw inspiration and reference poses from fashion magazines. So I decided to do the same. That is where I got the weird pose I was mentioning earlier. It is really fun looking through all the fashion magazine poses, and I even got some inspiration for clothing from there as well. Heatwaves, while human-like, needed to have a bizarre look and some type of connection to a microwave. My initial thought was using the old-fashioned fast food-looking hat on the top of his head, maybe make a ninja mask with a number pad from the microwave covering his mouth, and then adding a mesh on the belt and thighs, the mesh that's like inside of the microwave, that is. Though you will see later that I made some adjustments off screen to further develop the character. As for the character Inigo himself, I couldn't really find the inspiration I needed or wanted for him. That's why I procrastinated and decided to draw Heatwaves first. However, after drawing Heatwaves, I had an aha moment and decided that I wanted Inigo to have an 80s sort of aesthetic. Though, after drawing the outfit and redoing his face a couple of times, and also not realizing how blurry the camera looked while drawing the face, I was a hot mess. Talking about Heatwaves, for reals. This is where I got the idea of using the feminine kind of 80s athletic wear because JoJo's characters seem to have this strange combination of masculinity and femininity as it gets into the later seasons, and I wanted to mimic that. However, let's just say that it was unbalanced. It was now 80% feminine and 20% to 0% masculine. So that had to change. Anywho, after a few modifications and adjustments to Inigo, the final result included knee-high boots, torn jeans, a crop top with holes in it, and a bandana to catch that sweat when fighting bad guys in style. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I gave him bracelets. So, yeah, here is Inigo. Now, the big question, is this a filler character or canon character? Well, by default, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has no filler episode, so Inigo is automatically canon material. Okay, all jokes aside, I genuinely believe that Inigo could have some potential to being a legitimate canon character. Heatwaves, the ability on the other hand, I'm not so sure. I'm happy with the design for the time that I had, though if I had more time and dedicated a bit more to the design, it can be better. Now, some of this drawing's charm or quality seems to be lesser than my drawing of Jotaro, and this is because I didn't add in any colors of value like shadows and highlights, but this drawing will be back in a future video when I start my coloring phase of studies. So I can't wait to get into coloring territory because right now I'm stuck in the 40s drawing characters in monochromatic colors. And that is all I have for today. Also, a little heads up for future videos. I may be combining the drawings from my studies throughout the weeks into one video, as opposed to just showing the drawings from a single week in only one video. Since my time to work on this channel is quite limited right now. Plus, I think you may find it even a bit more interesting to see all the drawings I've done thus far, but feel free to let me know in the comments what you think. Well, thanks for watching, noobs and newbies, and for sticking with me during the crazy journey to becoming a manga artist. I really wouldn't be able to do it without you. So don't forget to like this video, and until then, I will see you all on the next one.